Keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
There's read the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Good afternoon and welcome and thank you for joining us here on this truly terrific Thursday as we start things off with the good company of Gordon Solomon. 949-8037. So please be a part of our discussion. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us, and it's a pleasure. Gordon Solomon joins me, and whether it's a passing conversation, whether it's a contribution from you on the telephone, as you are hopefully in the idyllic camera back giving us a call in your pensive philosophical mind, or it's one of your artistic creations, and the people in the country get a chance to look at it. There's so much that can be said and had if our people are willing to embrace, support, nurture, encourage, and, allow our people to excel. Gordon, you've set a tone.
Can you hear me, first of all, Susan? Mic check. You can hear me? Yeah.
Trust me, what I told you, if Susan makes it any
easier. She's actually real, right? You don't be talking to yourself. There's someone named Susan, right?
This is what I mean. You see Susan? No, she is real. She is real, man. And more so because she's from the beautiful Brack, Mm-hmm. And Gordon, when we look at Cayman, when we look at not just the emerging artists, but established artists like ourselves, when we look at our historical record and we see the role sometimes that our people have played. I was talking to someone earlier, and we were referring to a couple of catboats and a few of the schooners from back. Mm-hmm. And then we looked at the town hall, the libraries, and other similar buildings. There is, without question, artistry in there, but there's more than symbolism, Mm. And then I was thinking back to you, and if you would allow me, with great respect, to run this Chalet as well. And I see two brothers in a sense,
Interesting.
There's so much similarity.
Like the same soil.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
Okay. Well,
some would say salt water in the veins.
Salt water in the veins. All right. But with that then, and we were, say, 100 years from now, it was a very short time. Whether we are blessed to be a part of that time frame or whether we've gone to dust, when the people 100 years hence look back, what are they going to see? What have we done that they're going to be proud of, or that they're going to be discredited by?
What have we done?
Mm-hmm. Not just you and I, but us.
We have a chance to tell our story.
Mm-hmm.
This art has always been my tool to tell my story.
Mm-hmm.
The Cayman story is always going to be an interesting one, and you need people like myself and Randy, and all of the different people that are emerging or established to start using our talents to promote that which is our heritage.
And just for clarity and emphasis, I reference you, Ron, and not to name call, name drop, and certainly when people say, well, I don't want to start naming because I'll forget people, but I very consciously did so because when we would look at it, and whether it's, you take a piece and you come from the artistic point of pointillism or you go from whichever, it's not even that. It's about being able to feel and breathe the salt water in your veins, as you put it, right? And to understand that there is something within the grounding of who you are, what you are, where you are. And as you think back, maybe it's a great grandchild who looks and says, this thing was captured. It could be in poetry and song. It could be, a sculpture piece. It could be something that has left an indelible mark on our people.
Yeah, so that's the importance of art.
Yes.
It allows you to record. It allows posterity and continuation of a particular thing. I mean, art is a double-edged sword, really.
So is the word.
So is the word. So is his book.
All right, we have Gordon Solomon in the studio, right? We're going to have a great discussion. I almost feel, in a sense, that we have put so much on Susan and all others who are, behind the scenes doing the work to make our jobs so much easier. So in addition to our radio, we have what we call YouTube. I know what it's called. And so people can go online and they can find it and they can focus on Gordon and see us.
And the art.
But there's a piece of art hanging in our studio. We won't auction it off. If Gordon is lucky, he might be able to leave with it, but some of the staff here might finagle it from him. Right. But at some point, I think Susan will do her camera magic and focus on it. So if you're listening and you just want to subscribe, or what is you got to do to go look at it, because it's a wonderful piece. We talk about that, but we talk some other things
we'll
as well.
We'll talk about the exhibit as well.
And the idea is that it's not just talk, but it's a talk that is reflective and pensive, talk that is not just proactive and constructive, but talk that is going to evoke within us a sentiment that we need to do more. We need to do more now. We need to do more that is lasting, profound, beneficial.
We have to contribute.
And we
have to contribute.
That's it. But for some, though, that idea of contributing, for them, a friend reminded me recently that it seems to be that the order of the day in Cayman is that you attend some function, and it's he who can write the largest check. Right? But
that's good too.
Well, someone has to pay the bills, right? But what about the contribution of the physical hand, the willing heart, that loving, attentive word and deed that makes it meaningful.
It's irreplaceable. Like you spoke to with your guest yesterday.
Yeah.
When it comes to digital, even comparing digital to the paper, I'm trodden with paper today. I got a book, right? And the book works.
Yep. Well, I
got a phone as well.
Yeah. I must share that I prefer the pen and paper, pencil particularly.
Yeah, this is art.
Yeah.
I mean, that they just recently, whose work did they find recently?
That I discovered a piece that I should know this.
Right. They recently found a manuscript basically from Einstein.
Yeah.
And he was writing his opinion on how he thinks God is and what God is.
Yeah.
And his notes now is what they sold for $2, if not $29 million. And we had to do with a 2 and $1 million.
Yeah, I didn't look at the amount either. I was just thinking.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So this book, in the future, will be worth something also.
Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't, but you know what? You think it, so you've done it, right? Ray Banker. I said to Ray all the time, he is, like, in my mind, an icon. And there's so many like him in our society that I call high functioning. People like yourselves who, your thought process not only go deep and wide and varied, and it's so fast, right? There's a fellow I was just having a good conversation with. I wanted to call him a friend, a former classmate, and the like. And to understand that there are people like that in our society that we fail to embrace and recognize and celebrate. And so coming into the studio today, knowing that you will be our guest and hopefully as we're going to go into Christmas, right? We're going to make our purchases of whatever it is going to do, and some going to do it for different reasons. That as we are on our break, we look at our students who may be, the students in our classroom because we are their teachers. They may be our children, and that we are now responsible for ensuring that they get into, the schools, come back and like. But we look at them and we get them to appreciate that they have, likewise, an obligation, but an opportunity to make a contribution, right? And those scribblings that you have there, whether it's writing or drawing, the markings of Ray and the like, that those things are somehow preserved.
I think Lassie has the markings. Ray has some, he has some good messages and cartoons.
All right.
Caricatures, should I say.
Yeah. When we come back from our break, as we continue speaking with Gordon Solomon, share with us. Take us on a path.
Well, I said to you on the phone call that we had that I really would like to have an open mic.
Yes.
And we can sit and discuss what the people we want to discuss as well.
Come let us reason.
Yeah. And as you know, I have Life on the Colony, a recent exhibition that just came down yesterday. And also, we also had Art of Fashion that just closed at the National Gallery, which some of my art was a part of. So we want to focus on some of these things as well, but I want to hear what people want to see as well and how we can relate all of this to Life on the Colony.
All right. We'll go to the break. If I could impose on Miss Susan for a second.
You're imposing on her?
Yeah. I rarely, and it's a personal choice, right?
Yeah.
I don't like screens anymore.
Oh, really? I know you mean. You got a limit screen, right?
Yeah. And so I don't, and I know I should, I understand the reasons why, but I don't pay attention to it. So when you're watching me, understand they listening to a talk show, watching TV, because my antics not going to be the indicative of what my actions and the like. But I'm going to ask Miss Susan, the art piece that is on her wall, focus on that. I don't know whether she can do it during the break, keep it, whichever. But as we go into the break, she'll do that. When we come back, she'll do that. So if you're listening and you want to see the piece, because I want to ask you a little bit more about it, G, when we come back and talk about the exhibition and different things. But as Gordon has asked, and I am certainly most amenable to it, let's have a discussion. We need to be philosophical. We need to
people want to talk. We can talk. Maybe some people can contribute to this particular body and conversation.
Yeah. I agree with the comment that you heard earlier just before we came on, that you have a strong intellect. You're philosophical. You're very deep and pensive. You have and there's so many like that in our society that we're not embracing, we're not encouraging, we're not nurturing, and we're not allowing the opportunity to
wisdom
engage.
Is grief. Because the truth is, not a lot of people that are like that are embraced and are considered different.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had to you got to realize that too. I mean, smart people that are usually artistic and are the way I am are usually considered different.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a proverb there that comes to mind, but I'll let those who know more the scriptures.
Well, we're different in a good way.
Yeah. So we're going to have that discussion. We invite you to be a part of it, 949-8837, 1-800-534-8255. During the break, I'll get the other phone that has the WhatsApp as well, that is more publicly known, 925-3261.
Really?
And Susan's personal number is 1-800. So you can find ways to reach us, be a part of a discussion, and if you don't say what you're thinking, who's going to know? Well, we want to know. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today.
Retain your peace of mind by installing a reliable generator, knowing that your family is safe and secure during a power outage. At Corporate Electric, we care about the well-being of our customers and their loved ones. We are the official distributor of Kohler SDMO generators in the Cayman Islands and can conduct a free assessment of your house to suggest the perfect fit. Call us at 946-2277. Visit our website or the Facebook page for more details.
Research shows that domestic violence increases during the holidays. Financial pressures, family pressures, work pressures, all of these play a part. So don't let the pressures of life take over. Choose to diffuse the spousal arguments before they begin. Most people experience their greatest anger when they feel dismissed, ignored, or misunderstood. Many people instinctively avoid naming their fears, and it's all too easy to mistake sadness and fear for anger. So if you feel like you're heading for an argument, or you find yourself getting angry, stop for a moment and ask yourself, am I reacting to a feeling of loss? Telling someone else what you're sad about or afraid of means that you're willing to let down your guard and be honest. And you know, they may react by doing the same. A quote from ahealthyplace.com says this: "Remember, from every wound there is a scar, and every scar tells a story. A story that says, I have survived. Turn your wounds into wisdom."
The Stop the Slap campaign, proudly sponsored by Foster's IGA. Stop the slap. Stop the cycle. Stop the violence.
Having a party at the beach or a team building exercise at the park? Reserving your cabana is easy with the Public Works Department online booking system. Create your account and use the online calendar to pick your desired date and facility. You can even pick the cabana you want to use. Look for your confirmation email, print it off, and bring it with you as proof of reservation. Enjoying our natural environment has never been so easy. Visit www.eservices.gov.ky to book your cabana today.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thanks for joining us. Gordon Solomon, is our guest, and he's in the house, present and accounted for. And as I was just quickly, Gordon, just thinking of a second during the break, we look at art, for instance, or the arts, and some of us, it may be both parents, it may have been one parent, it may be a sibling, it could be a spouse, it could be even a child, and it may be that person had a favored way of expressing him or herself.
Yes.
Some, and this struck me, for a society that isn't necessarily, or I should say, is more oral in its presentations, we have a lot of people who write. Mm-hmm. And even though, and I'm thinking with great respect to many of the older folks who, at that time, didn't have the opportunity to get formal education or get education beyond a certain, minimum level. But they are prolific writers and readers, right? And they would write poetry, short stories, and the like. And sadly, I just learned that there was someone who, was doing this, little doodling, little things, and over the time, whether you want to call them journals or however, had this little collection of things, nothing more than just a little rants and ravings and thinkings and thoughts and what have you. And it got lost in a natural disaster, and of all the things that have been missed is these things. And I thought, how unfortunate, it wasn't valued like the passport or the credit card or maybe the favorite photograph of something, but that this thing was so missed now, but yet so seemingly insignificant at that point in time. I wonder if that's indicative of who we are as a people when we look at who we are as a people. That we just dismiss, the obvious. All right, Gordon.
I don't know where to start with that one.
All right, you take us down a road, man. So, the exhibition, the thoughts on your mind and where we are. Give us a Gordon Solomon perspective.
Well, we need to have artists that can talk about some of the issues that matter. Mm-hmm. And I'm just talking about most of the things and not all the things that impact us in the Cayman Islands. This particular series, some would consider departure from my usual maritime Cayman history. But really what I did in this particular series was I combined a lot of my styles that I have. And you're going to see my spots of light that's mixed in with a lot of my cube. but a lot of the ideas are based on what's happening right now in Cayman, what they would say as contemporary art. And maybe about 2 years ago, I started to look into the whole idea of what's happening in terms of social issues, and I wanted to have a conversation about them, but I realized I would have to do it in the medium that I'm good at, art.
Art, yeah.
And at the same time, we weren't having a lot of these conversations that are actually necessary, that can help us as a people. The importance of art cannot be underestimated. And so I took my ideas, such as the one that we have now that people can see. I'm sure people can see us right now. Joel? Sinatra? All right. So they can see us on YouTube, right? So this particular one, it's called Umbilfil. And we're talking about people born here in the Cayman Islands. During 1977 to 1984, there was a particular law passed where if your parent or parents weren't born in the Cayman Islands, you were going to take the nationality either of your mother. Even if you're not married, it's usually your mother. And so you had that whole concept of the ghost babies going on. And my particular spin on that was, everybody in Naval Spring is basically buried at the landfill right now. Where we used to have a lot of Naval Spring buried in the backyard. As we moved forward, it just seems like everything is crushed and mushed in this one place. And it's the story of us.
As you were sharing, I'm thinking that here we are in our society, and the artists, or through the arts, we're capturing and commenting on what is unfolding now. To what extent do you think, in the Cayman context, or artists, whether it's the poets or the musician, whether it's the person who's going to put acrylic to canvas or otherwise, are we making that comment versus those who are trying to influence the agenda to highlight something,
Well, that's the power of art. You can influence agendas. I mean, but the point of what I am doing in particular when I'm saying life on the colony, I am taking us through a series of paintings that speaks about our development as a people. Although there are only 18 in this particular series, let's go back to the Ghost Babies, what we're talking about with the landfill and what's going on in this whole environment. I choose to consciously focus on the environment. You're going to see a lot of plants in this particular series, where you see the motifs with they're actually thatch. Those crisscrosses are thatch. That is my focus on the heritage. And you're going to see the dollar signs. There are always like these dollar signs that are placed in different places, coiled and recoiling and unfolding. And that represents our finance industry. You have to understand that the peopling of Cayman only really started in like 1640. And as we move forward in our development, nobody has really tried to encapsulate this particular story and tell it from the perspective of governance, growth, and our heritage, finance, environment. So this is my attempt in these 18 pieces to say this is what's going on. For example, births in the Cayman Island. We started off with in 1809. We had about 800 people. We're moving forward to like 1901, where the population started to go up to like 2,000 people. And as we move forward, we're at 65,134. I think you make 135. You like them things?
You see, that's what, as I listen to, and I was looking at the piece, and, for those who are listening, obviously we're speaking to Gordon Solomon, and we're going to do our utmost to ensure that you get to see, a bit of his art that on display, posted on our wall. Now, when I look at that, and I move my head back and forth between you, and I try to watch it on the screen, recognizing that in our artists, right, and through our arts, we get a chance to make a statement, to comment on something. Some of us would probably quickly recognize the Calypsonians and some of their commentary on whether it's beach access and the statements that they've made. Yes. Some would probably even be much more, informed historically and be able to go back to the slaves and how they were able to communicate and do their thing through them, right? But it's very, very indicative. Now, I wonder to what extent Caymanians specifically, and those of us who are going to call this our homes and who want this to be the very best place, are willing to use that as positively and as constructively, or are we more inclined to make that negative, derogatory, divisive sort of statement to polarize and divide our people, as opposed to what could be a unifying rally?
Well, that just sounds like distractions, and they're all around. But what's important? I think we always got to try to keep that at the forefront. Because I find that art is more of a strength, and we can rally around that.
But that rallying at times, is it then that people are A, unable, or B, unwilling to take art and see the potential commentary or the deliberate attempt by the artist to share something? Whether it's a subtle element of symbolism in a painting, or whether it's the just nature of some of the words, the lyrics, and the poetry or the song, and that almost innocuous comment on something by way of passing. Sometimes it's very deliberate and direct. Maybe the most famous that people would quickly recognize is when Jack says, "I'll beat on this beach." Right, now that may have been that part of the Caribbean, but it could equally be in Florida, as we're seeing some of the issues unfolding in Florida.
Well, it's here as well,
as it is in here.
And I guess you saw the beach access. Did you go to my Instagram account?
No.
For anybody that's listening, it's at Gordon J. Solomon. Check us out at Instagram. We have different. I have the ideas posted for this particular series, but what I have is the sketches from the beginning. I kind of take you through a little process with a collage. I don't show you the full painting, but there is enough that you can see in particular. And now, the beach access is one of those things that everybody need to enjoy, right? But the whole thing about that is, although we have access to the beach, there's not a lot of clean people, right? And people just kind of, when I go to the beach, I like to rake up and then make sure the wife hopping, the children hopping, the little place clean, and we got like white sand, right?
Hey, man.
And some people would just go and trash the place, and you kind of got to give the people that own the properties the wherewithal to say, hello, the cleanliness, and people litter the place, and they have a right to say what they're saying about us or whoever visits the beach.
But it's going to reflect all of us.
No, it don't reflect me because I rake up and then clean up.
But that's the thing, right? And I believe as I listen to you, just simple little point is significant and it shouldn't be dismissed. If we go to the beach, right, that could be an isolated area. It could be a very, very heavily developed area and just a little stretch. What is our impact? are we going to take our stuff and just dump our trash now?
Well, but that's our impact. Our impact is Mount Rushmore, and basically that's what's going on here as well in Umbilville. It's a bulldozer on the landfill is pushing over all of these TVs, all these different things that we have.
The age of technology meeting the
It can be interpreted that way.
Okay.
Right? But the thing is, what I'm saying is, all of this garbage we are producing, all of this garbage is coming in, and it's all going to the landfill, and it's not being recycled in this particular way, and the landfill keeps growing. We have to be responsible enough to try to implement plans to reduce, reuse, and recycle.
When I looked at your first piece as you were behind, and maybe it's my perspective, maybe it's just how I look at it. So for me, art is something that you have to look at, not just continually, but you need to keep revisiting, because there's so much little things that come out. Say it's in the eye of the beholder, right? So in that, I see the dollar signs. I see the CD, the different little things, sort of semblance of technology and the like. And I was asking myself, are we looking at not only the environmental impact of what we're doing, but the economic cost of doing it and economic losses that we're incurring? One man's treasure, right? Or one man's trash is another man's treasure, they say. One man's meat is another man's poison. The landfill. Now, I am by no means an expert. I don't do a lot of reading on it. But you look at landfills, whether it's in the developing world or whether it's in other industrialized places, they're being mined for things. The copper and
capped as well.
Yeah, and there's so much, money in the garbage, as it were. How much are we flushing out down the drain in this country by failing to reuse certain things, to recycle, to reduce, and the like? And are we able to become more innovative in some of the things? Maybe we could reduce our importation costs because we bring things in a certain way as opposed to another way. Our elderly people, our ancestors, not just out of necessity, but I think out of a healthy respect. Look at how they use the things they use. The coconut is probably the best example, and yet even that is being discarded to a great extent.
But you see, though, I find that we can stop a lot of the stuff that's coming in, but here's the catch to it. I give you an example. I have a Wendy's cup. I can get a refill from a Wendy's cup. Can I call Wendy's on the radio? Anyway, Wendy's is just a girl I know with the red hair. And I can go and get a refill from her. But only if I'm at Wendy's. But if you look at how those cups are designed, you can reuse those cups.
Yeah.
I can't go back the next day and say, hey, Wendy, refill this again for me.
Right.
And Wendy's going to look at me and say, you need to buy a new cup.
Yeah.
The same kind of cup. Durable.
But
right, but that's a chance for me to reuse. So Wendy's gonna look at me and be like, you know what I mean? But are we willing to implement things similar, simple like that?
Simple example
to stop the excess.
If you take the cup and it's clean, you have certain criteria, and you go back to this place. If it's $1, right? Normally, maybe it's 98 cents, maybe it's 95 cents. If you bring your cup, it's not that you're gonna get more, right? Perhaps those are the things. I'll share with you maybe during the break, perhaps on air afterwards, about those bags that we take to supermarkets now that are customary now. Store experience 20 plus years ago when I first took one in, but that's a different day. Hey, Gordon Solomon is our guest. If you want to be a part of a discussion, if you think, hey guys, there's more important things, we need to impeach the government, we need to commend the government, we need to declare independence, we need to become whatever it is that you want to talk about. Gordon says, let's have some open line and let's stir the pot. Who knows where it'll take us?
I didn't mention impeachment or the amount of things.
Hey, listen, man. I just reading from Susan's notes. No, I'm not. Nah, I'm just kidding. But we need to, we need to rock and roll and see where we can take this because, 949-837, 1-800-534-8255. Hey, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Research shows that domestic violence increases during the holidays. Financial pressures, family pressures, work pressures, all of these play a part. So don't let the pressures of life take over. Choose to diffuse the spousal arguments before they begin. Most people experience their greatest anger when they feel dismissed, ignored, or misunderstood. Many people instinctively avoid naming their fears, and it's all too easy to mistake sadness and fear for anger. So if you feel like you're heading for an argument, or you find yourself getting angry, stop for a moment and ask yourself, am I reacting to a feeling of loss? Telling someone else what you're sad about or afraid of means that you're willing to let down your guard and be honest. And you know, they may react by doing the same. A quote from ahealthyplace.com says this: "Remember, from every wound there is a scar, and every scar tells a story. A story that says, I have survived. Turn your wounds into wisdom."
The Stop the Slap campaign has been proudly sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Stop the slap. Stop the cycle. Stop the violence.
I need a bank that is convenient for me.
What do you mean?
I need a bank that has easy-to-find locations and plenty ATMs when I need cash on the go.
Oh, well, that's easy. You need to bank with Cayman National. They have 7 customer service centers and 23 ATM locations. The newest one is at the East End Post Office, and I hear there's more to come.
Well, sounds like I need to bank with Cayman National Bank, the convenient bank, because they seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Cayman National is everywhere. Surely they are Cayman's convenient bank.
Cayman National Bank. We're here for you.
Business owners and marketing managers, did you know that during the holidays, 1 in every 3 persons in Cayman search findyellow.com? Get more visibility for your business with Yellow's special Christmas advertising package. Contact our advertising consultants at 949-7027 or visit findyellow.com to find out more. Yellow, we know Cayman.
South Coast Bar and Grill up in Breakers, man, that is the place. For traditional Cayman cuisine, oh, you will love the taste. At South Coast Bar and Grill, we got conch and lobster and turtle stew. And every Sunday, come out with your family for the barbecue.
South Coast Bar and Grill by the seaside, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily, lunch and dinner. Call us at 947-2517.
For Cayman and cuisine, the talk today is South Coast Bar and Grill.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you for joining us. In the studio, Gordon Solomon joins us, and I really appreciate not just your contributions, but equally, the time to sit with us today and hopefully get people thinking and talking.
Yes, think talk.
To those who are listening and join us, 949-8037 or our toll-free call at 1-800-534-8255. Mr. Gordon, let's go to the phones and join our caller. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Ambassador. How are you?
Good afternoon to your guest.
Hope all is well with you, man.
Yes, good afternoon.
First, Dwayne, really these days people are busy about the issue of the port, and we forget very important issues. Number one, in the issue of prices of gas, still those companies, the monopoly companies who sell the people of this country gas, they never lower the prices of gas. If you notice, from many months now, the prices of gas going up. It seems because nobody is speaking about this issue, and they are silent. The voices in this country, they using many methods to silence voices, and you know. And the other issue is also the prices of food is going up, but still people, the salary still the same. We have a legislation assembly said $6 an hour for minimum wage, but I still see in the newspaper companies advertise for $4.50 for a job. They are breaking the laws, and it's documented in the newspaper, in the public newspaper in this country. And I'm not agreeing to this minimum wage because no one can survive by $6 in this country. And, you know, I feel bad for those members of legislation assembly who try, you know, to tell people or the minimum wage is $6.
What do you think the minimum wage should be then? Presumably you are in favor of a minimum wage?
Yeah, I'm in favor of minimum wage, not to decent $10 an hour. I think because the cost of living in this country, Dwayne, is gone crazy, and you see the people who is hungry in this country are going up, and we have.
If I could ask you though, sorry to interject, only because of the news. Given, I don't believe there will be too many people who would disagree that it is expensive, the cost of living, or we're seeing in Paris.
$10 is reasonable. Right? I think $10 is reasonable. But how do you get?
That's it. Yeah.
How do you get? How do you? Because we got this addiction to cheap labor going on. You might want to take your break and then get back to this gentleman. So.
Caller, with Susan's consent and your acquiescence, let's just pause. Let's think about that. Would you join us after the break and let's talk about that some more? All right, let's do that.
I will.
Thank you, sir. And if you want us to call you back to save your credit, hey, no problem. Susan will pay for the call. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman.
Headline. Radio Cayman's newsroom. Headline. These are the biggest stories right now.
The annual coral bleaching survey in Little Cayman gets a boost from volunteers at Earthwatch. This week, the Central Caribbean Marine Institute is hosting the 9 volunteers at the Little Cayman Research Center. This is CCMI's 4th Earthwatch volunteer expedition of 2018, all of which have helped the organization survey the shallow water reefs around Little Cayman to monitor for coral bleaching and reef resiliency. So far this week, their volunteers have completed over 40 surveys, and CCMI is hoping to complete 20 more. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. The French government says it fears major violence in Paris on Saturday as the National Yellow Vest protest movement shows little sign of easing. The government said it was scrapping the fuel tax increases in the budget, the original spark for the protest. But border discontent with the government has spread and protests have erupted over several other issues. Lady Gaga's performance in A Star is Born has landed her a Best Actress nomination at the Golden Globes. Bradley Cooper is also nominated for his direction of and performance in the musical remake. Olivia Colman is also up for a Best Actress award for The Favourite, for which Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone are also recognized. And an Ohio father who made his daughter walk 5 miles to school as punishment for bullying has provoked a debate on parenting. After 10-year-old Kristen was suspended for 3 days from the school bus for a second-time bullying offense, Matt Cox decided to teach her a life lesson. He made her trudge to school on a cold day while he followed behind in a car. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because they are best answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. In the studio, Gordon Solomon joins us. And, to the caller's point prior to the break, who was talking about the notion of the minimum wage and the like. For those who are sharing, they want to be a part of it. Certainly 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Gordon, I'm not
he's not on the line?
Yeah, the caller. Yeah, we'll reconnect with, Ms. Jose. He's disconnected for now. But the question, although I'm not a person that like to assign labels, so when I look at Gordon, I see you more than just an artist, a poet, a musician, more than a social commentator. Right? No, man. Hey, for me, because I don't like labels.
I got a lot of them,
Yeah, but that's the problem. Labels sometimes pigeonhole us, right? That the child in school who may have experience in 1 year with a teacher, and that teacher passes a comment, that may follow that child from that first year straight through to the graduation, 15 years later, right? And then you have the child living up to that negative expectation, right? Now, more than that, if we label, sometimes we malign, and if we malign, we can devalue, right? But when I look at people who are artists and people who are, sort of social commentators through their art, I remember a particular piece that you and Miss Alta did. What was it? She did the poetry, you did the music?
Yeah, we got a whole collection coming out, something like that.
Right. And I think of what that could be. Now, as we rejoin the caller, let's go back to the phones. Yes, sir. Thank you for rejoining us.
Minimum wage.
Minimum wage?
When I think, the issue of minimum wage is very concerning. You know how the legislation assembly, those sitting members making 14,000, 13,000, whatever thousand they making, how in the world they are telling the Caymanian to live in $6 an hour in this expensive country where gas prices is if you go to and look what is gas prices is gone down this month alone because Saudi Arabia did produce 2 times more than what they produce. Prices gone to $50-something. So prices always going down, prices of gas, and nothing changed from years in the prices of gas. I remember when was Mr. Tibbet minister, he promised to review, and that review gone in the shelf. And this government...
Yeah. If I could ask you, so the minimum wage, whether it's $5, $10, $15 or $50 an hour, if we increase the minimum wage, what impact do you think that would have on the cost of living? So people now have more money to spend because they're earning more, hopefully have more disposable income. But how do you think that would affect the overall cost of living?
First, if you look at those business people who own the hotels, they are making billions of dollars every year. And if they increase, the salary for $10, it's not going to affect their profit, that big amount of money. And you have to put your people, the Caymanian people, to live decent life. $10 a minimum wage is a decent salary in an expensive country like Cayman.
I hear you, but if I may ask, so we increase that amount of money that we pay to, the workers. Who's going to pay for that?
The business people have to pay because they are making millions.
Okay, so they're going to pay for it. Are they going to now raise the prices of their hotel rooms, the goods that they sell, whether it's in the supermarkets, the retail shops, the automotive places, wherever it is that their products and services? Are they going now to raise the prices on those goods?
They shouldn't, Dwayne, because they are making, when they price their goods, like the food, if you look at the prices, the wholesale prices in the United States and the prices in Cayman, they are putting sometimes 100% markup. They are making more than 100%.
Okay, now let's assume that they're doubling the prices between here and wherever they're buying the goods. Maybe they're tripling and quadrupling and increasing tenfold, whatever that sum is. Do you think that's partly because maybe the cost of not just buying the good wherever they're buying it and then bringing it to Cayman and paying the duties and all the other things that they have to pay in order to get the good here? Do you think, to what extent is that causing the price of that good to be increased?
But the duty is 20%, Queen.
Is
if
it?
you look at, and in some cases, there is a lot of stuff sold expensive in Cayman, like milk, for example. It's free, duty free.
But what about the cost of freight and that shipping to bring it from, again, milk, ice cream, other perishable and frozen items? They bring it here. Is it that potentially the cost of bringing those goods here is why the prices could be as high as they are?
Yeah, they are putting a big markup. That's why. They are greediness of the business people in this country and the monopoly. And there is no, like, for example, if you look at the company, the cable and wireless, before, prices was very high. But when digital come, prices gone down. And now we asking why we don't, for example, electricity company, another one, so the prices can go down. There is to open the market to make like what happened in telecommunication. You have to give a new license to a company, produce electricity, can provide for the people at cheaper prices, and the same thing go to the gas. We have in this country more important issues than the building board or not build board, and this discussion needs to put the discussion in the right direction, Dwayne.
Okay.
It is the cost of living.
Well, let's hear. I hear you. Don't go away, Gordon.
Can we talk about the minimum wage? Because there were several that you had, sir. I think, unfortunately, the issue that is that we have to understand here is that some people will work for $6, and even if you do put it into legislation or what have you, you have some kind of enforcer. You know, some people are still going to hire people at a certain wage to do a particular job. Now, the value that you're saying is important. What you're saying is we need to hire Caymanians because we value them, and we value them at a particular point. They should get this to do that. Now, that's all well and good, but because we have this addiction to cheap labor going on here, this is what's going to change everything. Put it in law, people still find loopholes, and what do you say about that, sir?
I think you know what you're saying. I think there is more important issue here.
Okay, let's talk about them, sir.
Which is that if you look at $6 an hour, if you work $240, do you think $240 is enough for somebody who have a wife, a child, or just one child? I'm not saying more than child. There is people who have more than one child to survive. I don't think nobody can survive by $240.
You'd be surprised, sir. You'd be surprised, but I think your point is we need to get Caymans in a position where they can be able to take care of our families within our country, because somebody working at $6 an hour here in the Cayman Islands from somewhere else, believe me, that's money back home. And so what you're saying is important, sir. We want to get our people in the position where they're trained enough and they're valued enough that they can take the jobs.
Yeah, when we have government spend $48 million in reward and waste the country money in reward and making the law firm richer, they need to spend money in and invest in developing the Caymanian people and finding a job for those 2,000 Caymanians can't find a job and can't survive.
All right.
And the last thing I want to say here, just a question to the general public. We have almost 800 churches collecting every year millions of dollars in this country.
Hold on, when you said churches? Did you say churches?
Yes.
How much?
Why
800.
we still have hungry people in Cayman while these churches collecting the money by the name of God?
Hold on, sir. We actually have, there's 31 churches in Grand Cayman, and there are actually 2 on Little Cayman and 15 in Cayman Brac. This is from the Economics and Statistics Office. This is also one of the researches that I've done on churches in the Cayman Islands. It's called Confessions of the Sinner. It's not that large a number, sir.
All right. Number I can tell you. If I count the number of churches in Cayman and the money, the billions they collect every year, I want to ask them, those preachers, where that money go to?
Yeah, that's another question. Yeah, we got to question that too. Yes.
Yeah. All right, man. Listen. Yeah, thanks very much, Respectful. Let us just leave it at for now. Take a short break. When we come back, let's see if we can get some other callers and have a perspective from them as well. Gordon Solomon joins us, and as he said, he describes it's an opportunity to look at the research. If you're watching us on YouTube, Susan is showing you, Mr. Gordon's art piece. So we talk about that. Stay tuned. We'll talk today.
Stay connected and enjoy your favorite holiday moments with Flow. Make Christmas memories great with the best phones at amazing holiday prices. Get the Samsung Galaxy A8 from $43.25 a month or the S9 from $70.75 a month from Flow. Sign up for Flow Quad Play to share up to 50 gigs of data and 5,000 calling minutes. It's amazing value and great gifts for loved ones or yourself. Plus, plenty of chances to win Flow holiday prizes. So make it Flow for everything mobile this Christmas. Visit discoverflow.ky for more. Terms and conditions apply.
Advance Automotive Chevrolet is celebrating their 10th birthday by giving away $10,000 to one lucky person who buys a brand new Chevrolet. Not buying a new car this year? Well then, why not be one of 10 people who could win free gas for a year? Book any service with Advance Automotive before December 19th to enter. And remember, Advance Automotive can service any make of vehicle so everyone can enter. Visit AdvanceChevrolet.com for more details or call 945-9191 to book your service today. Terms and conditions apply.
Christmas is coming early this year at Brand Source, just in time to spruce up your home with a fresh new look for the holidays. Come early morning, Saturday, December 8th, for the best discount. Save big with 25% off store-wide from 8 a.m. to noon on appliances, mattresses, bathroom fixtures, vanities, custom closets, and kitchen cabinets. From noon until close, get 15% off. So come early and save more. Saturday, December 8th at the pre-Christmas sale event at Brand Source Home Gallery, Industrial Park.
For more than 30 years, Rotary Central has worked along with our business community, business advisors, media, and schools, introducing over 500 students annually to the universe of business. Students are guided to create, operate, and deliver products to market. Today, thousands of Caymanian business professionals point to junior achievement as their introduction to business. When you support Rotary Central fundraisers like the Music Extravaganza, you support Cayman's next generation of business professionals. High schoolers learn human resources, sales, marketing, accounting, compliance, legal skills, manufacturing. Cayman's next generation business professionals find purpose and get inspiration through Rotary Central Junior Achievement programs. Junior Achievement, another inspiration project by Rotary Central.
RC Fusion featuring Billboard pop hit songs and more from the 70s to the 90s.
RC Fusion.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. till 12. RC Fusion.
Brought to you by Country and Western. No mess, no fuss. Just the best in Caymanian cuisine.
At a price you can afford.
Country and Western now offering delivery. Call 945-4079.
RC Fusion. RC Fusion.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. In the studio, the good company of Gordon Solomon. It is, not just a perspective to be shared by Gordon, but equally an opportunity, as you said, to engage your public. It's sort of like an open mic, an open dialogue, and through that, we can use his art and that
message.
The message in
the message is life on the colony.
There you go. 949-8037. All right, or 1-800-534-8255. Only because of my great respect for Miss Susan, she reminds me to tell you, go to YouTube. Almost want to joke and call it something else, but my children say that's not fun anymore. So go to YouTube, look for Radio Cayman live stream and subscribe, and watch it. You decide for yourself. Hopefully, with my constant encouragement, should put the camera image on Gordon's artistic
I
creation.
got my book as well in it.
Yeah,
I mentioned to the last caller, Confessions of a Sinner.
Yeah,
and yes, we do have a lot of churches.
Yeah.
And what they do with the money is really going to be between them and God. But the issue of when I talk about Confession of a Sinner, it's number 3 in the collection, and it's about gambling, lottery, numbers, game of chance. Did you buy a number recently?
What number, please?
I think it was number 3.
We are going to the phones, right? But I get the biggest joke from some people because they know my personal view on it. Right? When I publicly, hopefully it's not too facetious, not disrespectful, but publicly I make a comment about the number, right? And there's one particular fella, even though he dons the uniform now and again, he understands why. Right? But we'll come to that. Gordon, right. with your guidance, let's go to the phones and pick up these couple of callers. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Hey, Sterling.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Gordon, Andre,
all right.
How are you doing?
Very good, sis.
Just wanted to pay my respects. You and I go way back from our Maples days. Sometimes I have to think of how long ago that was.
Yeah, we shared 9/11 together there.
Oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. But listen, I've always respected you as an artist, especially. You've really stuck with your profession, because that's what it is, right? You're a professional artist. And I have a lot of respect for your work, and I've seen how you have, just throughout the years, developed both in your capacity as an artist, but also as a business person with it, because it's also a business for you.
Absolutely.
And of course, we can't forget that side of things. This is how you make your living, and people need to understand that that's the primary reason why they need to support you.
I got a Christmas special going on right now. You can see that in my newsletter.
Exactly. But it's so unusual to have what you and your wife have out there, where you have a couple that are doing this together, that share their artistic passion with the community. And, I'm going to share a little story that a lot of people may not know. When I first started my business, I basically commissioned a piece, and you came and you did a wall mural for me in West Bay. And it was beautiful. You remember?
Right.
Sounds like you forgot a little bit, yeah. And it was kind of like an underwater scene.
Stingray.
With the stingray, exactly, kind of floating. And, you could see, it was floating kind
Thanks
of like
for that opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, my gosh, it was so beautiful. And, you understood that I was just starting up in business and gave me such a great deal on that wall piece.
You see?
Despite it being really large and so incredibly beautiful. I mean, it turned out beyond what I expected. And can I tell you something really ironic? Despite me having left that location many, many years ago, I thought that it would have been repainted over and whatever. And a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to go back into that location, which is now the MLA office of Tara Rivers.
Really?
Yes. So this is a little bit of history. So,
Still
Gordon,
there.
you have helped make history because guess what? That mural is still on that wall. It has not been touched. And this was back in 2003. Yeah. So if you can put that in perspective. Yes, absolutely. They're in Centennial Towers. So if you can put that in perspective and, people can go by and have a look. I'm sure Tara probably wouldn't mind. But she may not even know the origins of that. She probably just saw it and thought, oh, yeah, this is a nice mural that Michael Matrix had put in there. So I wanted to give a little bit of history, and I wanted to share that memory, which is one of the many memories that stands out. Like I said, Gordon and I go way back from, the late 90s when I was actually working at Maples. And he decided to leave, corporate Cayman and do full-time what his passion was and what he wanted to do. And I left and did my passion, which was to become a business owner. And, we're still both at it. It's a constant struggle, but I'm glad to see that more and more he's becoming more and more successful. And, he's just developed into a wonderful artist and a wonderful person.
Indeed.
Thank you for that
Thanks
opportunity.
a lot, Gordon.
All right. Hey, thank you too. And let's go to our phones and join another caller. Hey, good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Hello.
Hey, good afternoon, man.
Hi.
I'm here.
Yes, you, man. How are you?
Yeah, good man. Yeah, you'll have your guest there. Sterling,
very
big up. Yeah, Sterling, your guest in a bit. Now, what talk about today now, right? The herbal thing now, the marijuana thing now, right? Yeah, because it must stay. I know we live in church now, right? In decades, globally, right? Their process are removing it, sensitive information, right? Editing it, reduction of it, right? Which is wrong. One woman up in the UK, right? Last month they passed one law for her now. Specifically, she can smoke her herbs now with vaporizer, right? Her pain alleviated, chronic pain, spasms are gone now, right?
Just one person?
Yeah, just one person.
Just one?
One person only. Look it up, man. Look it up.
I thought it'd be more than just one in vapor rings.
But, you understand? Because of all of them, yeah, say about it. She's a paranoid now. She can please, that what you feel like. Norm, right? But the project mate now, in Cayman now, right? And she had to pay £1,200 now. Look at me now. January next month now. 10 years ago. No, sorry, 2008, 11 years ago. I spent $1,50 for one spliff. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And they better, whenever that legalized, expend my record right away. And reverse my money, my fines. Okay, it's wrong. It's wrong for decades now. When you find a seed in your car, like I bought it before now. When you find a seed in your car, that car confiscated.
You really think they'd reimburse you like that?
Huh?
You think they would reimburse you like that?
What they better do it? Because they better do it real fuller. Because look at the US now. The DEA for years now. Right? In the FBI. Your turn against it. No, they're praising it. No, they're praising it. All our funds, advocated funds, we're going back to commerce. Right? Look at Canada last month. They paid the debt right away now.
Mm-hmm.
Right away. But Cayman, no, we have tenants said, no, polish it up. Anything about it now. In Cayman, no. They got people, right, in white collar jobs, doing harder drugs now. Harder narcotics now. People now. You feel that? Okay, I just smoke a month now. No, I've got to smoke a month. You know me. I just smoke a month. But you got to legalize.
So, Umbre, how you feel about the sales that used to be on the catboats? How you feel about them being made from hemp in our society?
Yeah, that same nature. It's intrinsic nature. They're linked to the herbs. Intrinsic.
Well, you would like number 11 in my series. It's called Miracle Medicine in the Eye. And I'm talking about how the premier and how we have passed legislation so we can use this for those medicinal properties. Are we moving forward?
Again, the point I make now, right? I understand people whatever problems are going through, health problems, right? And but listen, you got to be reality. Look here, you make a statistics, right? And of the cruise passengers, who's smoking, right? The newlywed, college students, you find the statistics. And actually, about in a normal scenario, look into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said, Cayman, be sophisticated, be unique, but listen, hello, we got modernized, get out that contemporary zone, get out of it. You understand?
So we need a few cafes. Huh? Where should we put the first cafe?
Anywhere, right? It's 72 square miles, Grand Cayman, right? In 14 came back, in 10 Cayman.
Hold on now, my friend. How do you feel about because you see now, not peanuts is not for everyone, as someone has said. And how do we limit minors in particular? And how do we promote an environment where we can actually partake in that environment and not be all hostile or paranoid or creating a danger to others? How do we create that environment, that cafe?
All right, the point you make, no, education, right? Put it this way, look at party smoking, cigarette now. Now more hazardous than second smoking.
What about those cars? What about them cars are there? It's CO2.
Yeah, exactly. But that put a hole in the layer. Right?
Quicker than the vapor, right?
Yeah. So, what happened now? We put a card on the table, ensure a scenario, what's going on. Right? Then all of a sudden, give me 30 seconds. Them Colorado, right? They land on land now. Who knows what is the problem? You know? They heard, so they put out an artificial enhancement now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like bat stuff now, bat fertilizer, whatever. You know? You get a real deal.
Guana.
Yeah, man.
Guanos.
What else you want to share with us, man?
Artificial green light. So they line up there, they don't work, they're a different zone. Right? So you look at that. Yeah, it's done. That mirror line, you draw a difference. But listen, like I said again, you got to legalize it. It's starting.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I want the election to come back in November now. I miss it now.
Me too. Me too.
I miss that. Cool.
Hey, thanks, man. Cool. Gordon, without caller's points and to, your
Number 11.
It's
number 11,
right?
Miracle Medicine.
And we talk about, the confessions of the sinner. When we come back, maybe let's speak to some extent the idea of legalizing, the growing, the processing, the combining of things, right?
Do I know those things?
Yeah. If you would allow us a perspective, right? All right, so when we come back, ganja, marijuana, cannabis, whatever it is called, is it legalized, decriminalized? Is it something that we should look at in order to add in the medicinal aspect? Is there an economic and social benefit to it? 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
South Coast Bar and Grill up in Breakers, man, that is the place for traditional Cayman cuisine. Oh, you will love the taste. At South Coast Bar and Grill, we got conch and lobster and turtle stew. And every Sunday, come out with your family for the barbecue.
South Coast Bar and Grill by the seaside, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily, lunch and dinner. Call us at 947-2517.
For Cayman and cuisine, the talk today is South Coast Bar and Grill.
Radio Cayman's financial news covering banking, investments, stock markets, and more. Local and international financial news brought to you during the 6 p.m. news hour by Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
New stock has just arrived and more is on the way at Dollar Super Buy Variety Store, number 12 Plaza Venetia, North Songway. Christmas decorations, wrapping paper, gift bags, gift items, toys, perfumes, handbags, home decor, and so much more, and all at great prices. While you are there, step over to number 8 Plaza Venetia and see what is trending at Babes Teens. Lovely Christmas dresses and outfits for all your Christmas photos, baby items, clothes, blankets, baby bags, toys, dresses, shirts, pants, jeans, pajamas, shoes, and more. Dollar Super Buy and Babes to Teens are now open Monday to Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 946-8157. The management and staff of Dollar Super Buy Variety Store and Babes to Teens wish you a Merry Christmas and God's richest blessing for the new year.
CUC advises participants in the Green Iguana Culling Program to exercise extreme caution around the CUC's poles and power lines, especially when extracting iguanas from trees or branches that are in close proximity to poles and power lines. Participants should keep all objects such as poles, sticks or hooks away from any CUC equipment to avoid any electrical contact. For further information, please contact our customer service team at 949-5200 or via email at service@cuc.ky.
Getting ready for Christmas is all about the finishing touches.
The icing on the cake, the table neatly set, decorations specially placed, and gifts thoughtfully wrapped, all to share with those we love.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Brit K, where people come first.
Brit K's offices close at noon, December 24th and 31st.
Visit britk.ky.
Praise time.
Praise him. Isn't it great when he's 4 days late? He's still on time. Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
I'm free from the fear of tomorrow. I'm free from the guilt of my past. Oh, and I found the answer.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
Talk today. Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Gordon Solomon shares with us. We're going to continue to benefit from his perspective. And I believe that whether you call them storytellers or whether you create a different carving for them, but our arts allow our people, especially in retrospect, to be able to, say, okay, well, this is what may have been talked about or was happening at that point in time. But if we could take it then and there and in the contemporary format, see a piece, a song, a poem, a painting or the like, and understand that that is something that is unfolding. Maybe it's a social ill that is being addressed. Maybe it's something that is being ignored or needs, attention. Right? Whatever that thing is, it could be that there's growing poverty in a particular area, unemployment, whatever it is.
Art has allowed me to be a communicator.
Yeah, an effective one as well.
If I think if I wasn't an artist, I probably wouldn't be dealing much with. Art gave me a place to go and associate and to find like minds. And with finding like minds, you come up with different ideas and how you can change. You gotta understand that art has been around, and people's message has been around as long as we've been around, and art is always a great communicator.
In that sense, Gordon, if I could ask you, as the public, right? Mm-hmm. So the artists create something.
Yes.
We as the public, do we lack whatever that is, the intellect, the patience, the time, whatever it is, to look at the art, the painting, the sculpture, to listen to the song or to read the poem, whatever format the art takes, right? And reflect on it, understand what is probably being conveyed, and even more so when we do, to act upon it.
Yeah, I think the challenge right now for our society, we kind of swipe too much. If it not, then you swipe, and then I'm not gonna swiping around me right now.
I don't swipe.
I kind of have my time where I have my technology time, And people need to understand the importance of kind of disconnecting from those things and connecting to being human.
Let me ask of you.
And then you can hear the voices better.
But yeah, those voices of recent, and I'm not going to specifically reference anybody, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Just in the Cayman context, we can recall quite easily internationally some very well-known and positioned individuals who have been saying time to legalize or decriminalize or whatever the words that are being used and whatever the connotations, but in the Cayman context, right? For different reasons. Some were talking about the medicinal, some were talking about the social ills and the like. The caller prior said it's time that we look at it. When it comes to ganja, now maybe I should call it cannabis, or marijuana, whatever it is, right? Decriminalizing, legalizing, and the like. Give us a perspective.
It's possible. I think what has happened is we've taken a good step in terms of doing and having the medicinal process and having it available for the public to consume.
With a prescription through a physician?
Sure.
Okay.
God made marijuana. And so you can use that in whatever term you call it. You call it something different in the lab.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But it's still the same thing, and it has its properties.
Mm-hmm. But with that, though, and I haven't as yet. I probably will for my own edification, but partly because I can share with you that there are a growing number of people who are constantly asking about a conversation on this.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to be better informed in position, even as a parent, but just as a participant in a society to know. So we got a CBD, we got a THC. And someone was saying, well, what are you talking about? And we understand that having it in its natural state, and there is a process to grow it and so on.
You ought to understand some of these, you can grow these particular plants for a particular purpose.
Right, okay.
And that's the uniqueness about having God's plants. You can graft them and have them to address.
Right. Here is something that I say this understanding that, again, I'm probably the least informed, right? But I'm beginning to understand that in this part of the world, don't know how it is in any other parts, but in Cayman particularly, but certainly in this part of the world, there are those of us who consume it, but out of fear of being caught with it because it's illegal to whichever and what have you, or maybe it's not a licensed business, they have it. They can't grow it legally. They get it from somewhere in order to preserve it and protect it, in order to package it and have it distributed. They got to keep it somewhere. So they maybe use formaldehyde as a preservative. They put it in the ground somewhere about to keep it. I understand from people that they mix it.
But knowledge is Sterling.
Well, hey, listen, man. If you want an attentive ear, I'm willing to listen. But you also got to be prepared that I'm going to ask you questions, right? Because I want to learn. But I understand that some people will take it and they'll mix it in with certain things. That is where I have a concern, in that you take something that potentially could be beneficial.
Yeah.
But if you use it in a certain way or you combine it with certain things, and again, I don't know, right? You are creating the probability that you may be doing more harm to yourself, right?
Yes.
Now, I hope this does not strike.
No, you wanna also consider what you're talking about in terms of opioids, is that kind of thing, which is a worse.
But even
substance. Let's just use that word for now.
Okay.
And it's killing people.
Right. But even so, right? So prior to my vacation,
I'm saying. So should I finish my thought? You cannot mix your herbs like that,
right,
and create some kind of killer,
right? But even
that's not going to happen.
Before I went off, a fellow reached out to me. He wanted to have, so he was sharing certain things. So I asked him a question, because we have some people in this country that are well informed. They don't only have their ears to the ground, but they're knowledgeable. And if we would just take a second to listen to them, to ignore where they come from, what they look like, how they may sound, these are incredibly intelligent, informed people, but we ignore them. So the guy is telling me that, there was a story once where a particular fellow, allegedly took a spliff. I'll put it in as colloquial term as possible. And that was laced with something. Whatever that thing was, and that set him off.
It's usually a deal. That's
so the story, right?
Damn.
Yeah, and that messed him up, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we are serious about this, and if we are knowledgeable, I'm sure there are people, whether it's in the policing authorities, whether it's in the judiciary, whether it's in the medical fraternity, there are people who probably know. And if it's a dangerous, horrible thing, like any drug, like tobacco, like alcohol, like whichever, let's deal with it. But if there are beneficial properties that are properly regulated, grown, structured, and promoted, and all those things, and it could be economically viable, why don't we leverage that to make it safe, right? Or safer?
It can, but there are abuses with everything.
Well, in moderation, right? Okay, talk to me about it. Yes.
The thing is with that, you have to understand that I personally would say to you, people should not consume until they reach a certain age.
Okay.
I think so, because I've seen in my development, I've seen people change in front of me when they partake.
Okay.
And it's I think if you're going to do that in Cayman, you want to limit as much young people. I mean, and I bomb out against the young people in thinking about.
Well,
I think you should be at a certain age.
I'll join you and say that when it comes to tobacco, cigarettes, however you want to call it, I've always believed. Right, this is not a political statement. This is not to offend or front any policymaker. But I've always believed that at age at which you are legally allowed to go and purchase a cigarette should be 21. And then you may say to me, but geez, that's old. But
I would probably agree with that.
Yeah. If you look at the state of California, and I've only done a little bit of reading over the years, right? So I don't remember all of it. They did something similar. It was a massive public education. They did a lot of things. They raised taxes. And what I can gather over the years is that they've seen a couple of things. A decrease in the amount of people smoking, a decrease in healthcare costs. They've seen that the later you start smoking, the less likely you're going to start smoking. Right? So there's been some significant benefits
from this experiment.
From this thing, right? So if we say to alcohol and tobacco and the like, and now if you put ganja in that mix, if you're going to legally consume this, you have to be, let's say, age 21.
Yeah.
Right? Hopefully you're older. You have the ability now to make a more informed decision. You're not saying you're not going to be able to do it. We're saying just like you're, hey, you got to wait till you're a certain age to be able to legally consent to this thing.
Right.
Whatever this thing is.
To drink.
We have ages for a lot of things,
I would agree with that.
What is the failure? Why is it that we're not doing what we seemingly know is the right thing to do? Because there have already been extensive studies, experiments, research, and material that support a particular contention. Why are we so unwilling to even look at it here? You know what? We have to take the break, Miss Susan. Oh, you see when now listen. In case people
you
don't understand,
me with that one,
Yeah, well, she saved you. She saved you. All right, when we come back, we're gonna pick up the caller. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio. Enjoy a mix of pop, hip-hop,
dancehall, urban gospel, Latin hits,
reggae, and soca. The Super Jam Show is fueled by the proud sponsorship of
Savannah Pharmacy, just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Country classics.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter.
On the road again. They're gonna put me in the movies.
Papa Top again.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Well, I love the rain.
Country classics.
Young love, first love.
You never count your money when
you're sitting at the table. If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
In the Mississippi cotton picking Delta town.
This Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Just walk on by. Wait on the corner.
Country classics.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. In the studio, Gordon Solomon joins us, and I really appreciate the company, not just because you get a chance to talk to somebody who has something good to say, but it gives our people a chance to understand that Radio Cayman and True Talk Today is for our people. It's a people's station, right? And we can have discussion as much as possible. Gordon, we do have a call online for those who want to join us. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, starting good afternoon.
Welcome back, man.
Yeah, man. Starting well, you know.
Yes, sir.
See, days of marijuana, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's edible, you hallucinate, right? And the havoc of it, no? People lace it. There's a take of blood, the blood stain head up. And people lace it with angel dust, and opioids.
Uh-huh.
Right? They'll flap your head. That's it. You fell the cuckoo nest. That's it. Reality. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. And different than now, look at people like buying drinking, right? That's for everyone. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Buying drinking, that's for everyone. Right? People get hostile. I know some people came on. Right? They drink one beer, their voice change, they alter different. Right?
They get angry and like.
Yeah, before they do it right now, they're normal now. But they want one beer, they're part animals, they dance on it, I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
But that time, different elements, right? And, right? And if you tell them, walk about, no, look at this now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, sound like stand up for everyone now. Right?
Right.
You know, about education. Right? You edify what's going on. In the UK, right? In the UK, they got whole houses now, brought in now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In the back of the newspaper, you call for call girl. All right. Do we want, in Cayman, do we want to accept that? Think about it.
But let me ask a question, right? Why you ask that? Do you think in Cayman, right now, right today, not 50 years ago, but today, do you think we have those sort of activities happening here, organized and the like, the human trafficking and the exploitation and all that sort of things? And we know, either because of the books we read, the news we watch, the movies we see, that in parts of the world, men and women are walking the streets. Some are organized in different places. Do you think that is happening here in this country today?
So I've been going on before I born. I've been going on before I born. I'm 84 now. That I knew.
Right.
But the point is, no.
Mm-hmm.
Would we rather accept that, or see this as marriage or marijuana?
Mm-hmm.
It's a triangle now. It's a triangle. So carefully think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say again, you see alcohol, no?
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol, it gives people that courage now, to talk out to this woman who timidly shy, who dances late. I talk an example now. My years, my adolescent years, I travel Cuban thing now. You understand?
Right.
But I thought the thing go on the club in Havana. You know, like I say, that's courage, right?
Mm-hmm.
The marijuana, no, you think to yourself. Some people don't want to eat the whole place down. Some people who will land. Some people meditate, contemplate. Reality.
Could I ask, not necessarily for your response, and I'll be careful because I don't like to ask something in ignorance, right? But you use the alcohol as an example. So let's say someone pours a glass of wine, it's white red or whatever it is. Someone pours another spirit or a beer or something else. You can tell, you may not know what kind it is, but you can tell that a beer looks different from wine, that may looks different from some spirit. When it comes to ganja, marijuana, whatever you call it, how do you tell that this is good or bad, that this is, this and or is now mixed with something else? Is there a, maybe kind of a dumb question, but is there a way to tell the difference, to know?
I went to Jamaica 9 years ago, right?
Uh-huh.
So my bedroom, right? But I put it for a long time. Mm-hmm. The bush weed, right? The bush weed, come bush weed. You eat the face down. You eat the whole pantry. You eat the face down. You get a headache. So broad different side effects. The report is that you feel on your chest, your heart rate lick, right?
But how do you? I don't mean to build there, but what I'm thinking is that, let's say for instance, and again, you got to forgive me because I do not. There's not an fiend attempt at trying to be innocent. I do not know, right? So we know that in Cayman, like parts of the world, people go to the bars, and whether it's out of joke or whether it's out of maliciousness, somebody slips something in somebody's drink, and somebody's. I can use the word Mickey used to be called before. Now there's the things that.
It's not good stuff.
Yeah, you're right, and end up sometimes killing people, and they end up being raped and all sorts of things, right?
Date rape stuff.
Yeah,
some crap like that.
Yeah, Hypnol and the like.
Jeez.
But if I may ask of you, with ganja. Likewise, I mean, can somebody put something into it and do something likewise?
You can tell the average senses. I call it marijuana sensing in herbs now.
Okay,
right?
okay.
I call it personal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Herb sensing, who know me sensing herbs, but whoever above the horizon, they can know someone tamper with it. They can tell the taste, you get numb,
Mm-hmm.
So at best, you roll your own spliff. Hello.
Okay. Listen, thanks. You've created a lot of questions that I think I know where I need to go to seek some answers. Hey, thanks very much. Anything else you want to ask or say? All right, perfect. Gordon, with that in mind, I think knowledge is key. I think as parents, we need to have very conscious, deliberate discussions with our children about things and be as appropriate but as specific and as informative and exhaustive as we can with our children about everything, right? Age appropriate. But as parents, we have to be willing to get informed as well. Now, the caller has caused me now to almost formulate almost endless questions now. Okay, I'm going to consult a few medical practitioners about things. I know there are a few things that I know I can go. But when a country is talking about potential legalizing or decriminalizing, are we doing what you said and saying, okay, if we do this, should we put an age limit to it? Should it be 16, 18, 21, 30? Should we say...
And to his point, we can create our own Cayman strain. We... I mean, we ship rum cakes.
We distill liquor.
It's just another commodity. But the thing is, the stigma for so much years, we've criminalized so much of our people for that particular thing, and now to turn around and say it's approved. You're going to have people coming out saying, you owe me some money, like we've had,
right? But look at the cost and consequence, right? So we took, let's say 30 years ago, argument's sake, and we passed 32, right? We passed legislation, the misuse of drugs law, that said not you, right? You, plural, right?
You over there.
You're required to, give a urine specimen. You refuse to do it. It's an offense. So we got book you. You got a spliff. You're going to jail. Now I don't want to say that that's okay to have drugs and the like on you, right? That's not the issue. That person now is institutionalized, constantly in and out of prison. We see the recidivism. We see the $70,000 a year to house that person for however long, and then as a result. We fast forward to today, we pass a law that says we're going to expunge that, but in an ensuing period, that person now
has to do the time.
Unemployable, has been stigmatized, has been, so...
Yeah, but we were great at doing that. we were actually great at doing that. And yes, people have to... People have to go and do their job. I'm not an importer. I'm not an exporter. I don't think people should do that either. You get catch, you have to do your time. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the Cayman stream, the growing, right? But I'm trying to look at you, make sure that I remember the boss, Miss Susan. There's a call online. Can we take the caller quickly, Miss Susan? Yeah, let's go to our phone. Say good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I am very thankful and highly.
Highly.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Sorry, this is the Radio Cayman too. So you're highly blessed. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Solomon.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been hearing my voice on Radio Cayman, or what?
Yes, ma'am.
You've been hearing it?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of regular?
Regularly.
When I have the time.
Thank you for your contribution, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sterling?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to talk a little bit about the ganja now.
Okay.
And it's not something that I have experienced, but I have known, but I do know of experiences where it is medicinal. Number one, asthma. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Asthma. My son. Okay, now. I didn't know what it had looked like, but I learned that after a while. Well, the father was a user, so anyway. Listen, when he was 18, our son was 18 months old, he came down with a bad asthma. That when I would hold him on my chest on a bed with pillows behind me to elevate me up, to elevate him up, the mattress used to rock. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
And then we learned, okay, get some, boil it, but not too strong, because we don't want to get drunk now. And that cured his asthma to a sense. But he still had to be very careful. Listen good. When he was going to John A. Cumber Primary School, he had to carry his liquid, what I want was named now. Anyway, he used to have a liquid medicine plus a pump before he go out on the field for the PTA. No? What? Tell me the right.
PE, physical education.
Yes, PE. Hello, no. I'm thinking about teaching now. Anyway, and he eventually, but had to have on not a marina, a T-shirt, under his shirt at all times.
Yes, ma'am.
When it came to this time of the year, he had to have a long sleeve shirt, plus a thick T-shirt under. And if he were going anywhere, he had to have a little windbreaker too, and a tam on his head. Are you listening good to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And then he keep outgrowing it. And Sterling, you do know that I have told you already what he works at.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Gardening.
Right.
Hello, Mr. Solomon.
Yes, ma'am.
Gardening. And you know what kind of grains it is out there, right?
Yes,
and he don't have a problem with that. Okay?
Okay. All right, listen, respectful thanks. And that highlights the point of the potential medicinal values in it. Respectful, ma'am, please leave us there. Gordon will just pause. Maybe when we come back, we can highlight some of the things she shared. I want to ask you more about the Cayman stream, talk about Confessions of a Sinner, and your artwork as well. So please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
Look
Looking for an interesting gift this holiday season? Well, consider the new 60th anniversary of the Coat of Arms commemorative coin set to go on sale early next week. Celebrate Cayman Committee Chair Alfonso Wright said they teamed up with the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority to bring the country this unique offering. While the coins carry a face value of $5 CI, the coin will cost between $75 and $80 US. For more information, you can call 949-7089. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, China is demanding the release of telecom's giant Huawei's chief financial officer, who has been detained in Canada. Meng Wanzhou, the daughter of the company's founder, could face extradition to the U.S. She was arrested in Vancouver on December 1st, but the news was not made public at her request. The charges remain unknown, but the U.S. has been probing Huawei over possible violation of sanctions against Iran. And they shared a total of 22 years spent living in the White House and a wooden pew in the National Cathedral for the memorial service of George H.W. Bush. It's not often that so many commanders-in-chief, present and past, are gathered in one place. In recent years, it has tended to happen at the funerals of presidents or the opening of presidential libraries. At the state funeral of the 41st President of the United States in Washington on Wednesday, there were 4 together in the front row: U.S. President Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Whether you're watching the radio show on YouTube or whether you're like me, love radio and prefer to listen to it, because it's portable. I mean, I know everybody got their phones and they can watch their video because they're in Wi-Fi and what have you, but, I rather radio. Yeah. Gordon Solomon is our guest.
Yes.
Gordon, thanks for sharing with us, man. Life in the colony.
We want to talk about number 7 since we mentioned stuff about brothels and prostitution. Cayman finance, how does that come together?
Yeah, okay.
Well, we have since the 1950s, our first bank that we've had. Their competition came in 1963, I think that was Royal Bank. But ever since we've had banking, there's been people coming and doing banking with us. But are we profiting from these people, these banks, doing business? And what I found in my research from the Economics and Statistics Office is that we collect a license fees on what is currently about 208 banks. Now, given the number was larger back in the 1990s, we had about 318 banks. And so those are Class A and Class B banks, but they're on the decline now.
Mm-hmm.
We collect licensing fees from them, but they are operating and collecting billions of dollars. Now let's look at it like this. What have we collected on every transaction they made versus license fees that are paid one time, 1,000 license fees? And if there are 200 companies, that's about $200,000. That was my math. However, if we're only getting, we collect about $29 million from having these banks with their licenses. But these banks are making billions of dollars. So we spend about $3 to set up the place for them to do the particular work, and they make about $4 on every other transaction. hold on, I'm getting those mixed up with, I think that's money wire transfer they had that mixed up with.
Yeah.
Money transfer, still the same business. Are we benefiting from that? Because we make $89 million, but we're actually $89 million from 5 different
the
money transfer companies, but the money transfer companies are actually exporting $210 million. How
much is the banks doing?
Well, that's the thing now. All of this is so intricate that you have to look at these charts that they're putting out. And because the charts changes every year. I know for sure we're not collecting as much as we can from banks, from transactions on money transfers. What we are doing is collecting a one-time fee for a license. So there's more that we can do, but are we being prostituted? Are we a venue? Or are we not a benefactor? Right. What are we?
I may ask you a little bit more about that, but we have a caller.
Oh, yeah?
Join us now. Gordon Solomon's our guest. Let's go to our phones. Welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Hello. Good afternoon, Sterling. Good afternoon, Gordon.
My friend, good afternoon, man. How are you?
Good. I've been listening in throughout the conversation, and you guys have touched on a few topics. And the one that you're on now is pretty interesting, and I know Sterling, you've heard me say many times.
All right. My friend, with the greatest respect, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm having incredible difficulty hearing you. Gordon, are you able to hear the caller? We're not hearing you. Is it us? Is it our end? You there, sir?
I'm here, but I don't know.
Yeah, good. Very much.
Much better?
Better.
All right.
Right. No, I just said, you guys were talking about a lot of different issues, and the one that you're on now is very interesting. I know, Sterling, you heard me say on many occasions that, when we look at our financial industry, it manages in over $3 trillion on an annual basis, and the only thing that we get from it is licensing fees and work permit fees and so on. I mean, obviously, Cayman is a service-based society because we don't have any export, but we have to reevaluate how we go about deriving funds from the various industries that we allow to set up in our jurisdiction, such as the financial industry. And I think that there is a very simple solution, and I've been saying it for a very long time, that we just have to set in a sovereignty fund. The financial industry, between the banks, the lawyers, and the accountants, all of those firms collect 25% of $3 trillion that is being managed here in Cayman through mutual funds and hedge funds and various other businesses. They collect 25% of that $3 trillion for service fees in our jurisdiction, which they only pay licensing fees. So we need to put a 3 to 5% sovereignty tax on that 25% that is already being taken out from the businesses, so that they don't be affected. That would be almost $1.5 billion a year that goes into the government coffers. And then, obviously that can pay for social welfare, that can pay for education, that can pay for health care, and a myriad of different fundamental issues we have in society. But we need to put proper mechanisms to extract the monies from the industries that are generating billions of dollars.
If I could ask you, sort of inject, looking at banks and looking at the money transfer places, that the seemingly that worker who I think the financial sector has talked about is the unbanked customer, right? So they get a paycheck, they go to these places, and they pay a fee, they send money to their family, friends, or wherever it is, and then we, as a country, collect a fee. When we compare that, Gordon's numbers were just then that 8 or 9 million on 5 of these such transactions, right?
5, yes.
Yeah.
Money transfer
Versus the 29 million from the 200 plus banks or whatever that number is.
That's right.
That move your number, you said 3 million through our economy. Now, are we, putting it harder to the smaller man and on the front end of the customer, as opposed to what you're sharing, that the bigger entities that are making the trillions getting away with a tuppence?
Well, could I just interject and say that we've been focusing, and you see, just having this conversation, talking about the money transfer places and talking about what they're making and what they're not making. Let's just take that deflection out of it, because that's what it's created for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we could be doing a lot better, but remember, law firms or accounting firms you see at MoneyGram or Western Union sending any money off. Zero. None of them. That industry derives money from the lower class, the poorer people, the working class people, right? So, yes, we could be doing a lot better at extracting funds. But why are we always focused on the poor man and the industries that the poor man is participating in? Let's look at the industries that a partner getting $20 million a year for a bonus. You know, why? Because his company just made $500 million or $1 billion off of service fees right here in our jurisdiction, licensed and allowed to work in the Cayman Islands. But yet, those same firms is the ones who having all these charity banquets so they can feel better about themselves, about extracting so much money from this jurisdiction, generating so much wealth amongst themselves, when the small people in this country have to bear the blunt of all of the infrastructure, all of the expenses, all of the cost of living. You guys touched on that earlier. Our problem not minimum wage. Our problem is the cost of living. That's our biggest problem. Yes, we need to fix minimum wage, but we need to fix the cost of living first, because even if you pay a man $15 an hour, but milk's still at $8 for half a gallon, he gonna still struggle. So we have to take a proactive approach on all of these industries. One of the biggest things that I see that we have as a complacency, Gordon and Sterling, you all would know this because we're probably all third, fourth generation Caymanians. I had a great grandmother who got up every morning, did her routine, right until the day she died. She wasn't focused on the environment or society around her because she had lived out her days, and she was focused mainly on what the rest of her life would be in terms of value. So I grew up in that environment not being aware because no one brought it up. So I was naive to all of what was going on because I saw the importance of life was to get up, wash clothes, make sure you bail water the well before the tide go down, and all those things. It was only until I was able to be on my own and recognize what's going on and then get involved. The problem is that we've always been able to do a very good job of deflecting what the true issues are and what could make and generate true wealth among Caymanians, because we always focus on the industries that the participation level is only among the average person. Here in Cayman, we have a real big problem where we don't give each other the self-respect. Because if we don't respect ourselves, it's going to be hard for us to respect anybody else. I just want to make this last point because there's a lot of stuff you guys talked about. You know, you could go on forever and you have other people who want to call. I was reading yesterday's Compass and I was super disappointed in the editorial, right? And I don't think a lot of people noticed it. Gordon, you're an artist. You probably would have if you had looked at the paper. Because I think when it comes to art and the hidden messages within art, that's why I enjoy your art so much. Because
but what was in the paper?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. So check this out. And you go to Wednesday's paper. And if you look on page 4, which is where the editorial is printed, talk about, it says, save the planet, lose the support of the people. And it went into great detail how the Compass has criticized Caymanians for speaking up about conservation of our environment and our island, right? So that we can have future generations being able to enjoy the beautiful environment and the cultural morality, the morals that made us who we are today, right? That's one thing. And then on the very next page, on page 5, Gordon, and I want you to go look at it, and it's very interesting. On the next page, it's a full page ad on page 5, and it says, and let me just quote what it says. It says mega roll means mega value, and it says mega roll equals 4 regular rolls. It's toilet paper, and down at the bottom it says Charmin. But it doesn't have which supermarket or which company or who is advertising this deal. There's no price on it. There's nothing on it other than it's toilet paper. Something that is very demeaning and disrespectful. And I look at this ad and I'm saying, which retailer in Cayman would pay for a full page ad to advertise one product, which is toilet paper? Think about toilet paper, but yet fail to put who it is doing the advert, how much it costs, and where you can get the deal. It's very disrespectful. A lot of people don't see it. It's sitting right there, and I'm not imagining this. You can look at the papers, Gordon. I look at some of your artwork, and I see the fundamental issues in politics on your canvas. I feel your pain. I see what your last series of work is it's like reading a book, right? And I appreciate that art. I really do. The reality is, bro, is that we allow people to come in here, set their own regulations and rules on how they should operate, because obviously we didn't have a real plan on how
the
we
first place
to get from point A to point B. And you and I both know, Gordon, that we have a lot of people who enjoy watching the fight, but we got more people who are now willing to fight. And that's one of the biggest issues we have in Cayman. But we need to fix the financial industry before it all goes away, and we need to be extracting money for our social welfare, for our mental health, for our overall health, for education.
Thank you.
We have to do that, and we have to do that now.
Well
Tourism is the only thing that we have, Gordon, that is ours. It belongs to us, but yet the face of it is somebody else. And these are the fundamental problems we have in society. Cheap labor will always be top competition with local labor, because all of the companies that enjoy and reap the benefits of hiring cheap labor are the very same people who are pushing the levers and the buttons to maintain the status quo and pay for politicians to keep things the way they are. We got to break that cycle, and we got to do it now, not tomorrow, right now. Caymanians need to stand up and have their say in every single thing that happens in this country. Make yourself counted and do the right thing. I'll leave it there, guys.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gordon, as we pause and take this final break, when we come back, let's see where it takes us. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Christmas is coming early this year at Brand Source, just in time to spruce up your home with a fresh new look for the holiday. Come early morning, Saturday, December 8th, for the best discount. Save big with 25% off store-wide from 8 a.m. to noon on appliances, mattresses, bathroom fixtures, vanities, custom closets, and kitchen cabinets. From noon until close, get 15% off. So come early and save more. Saturday, December 8th at the pre-Christmas sale event at Brand Source Home Gallery, Industrial Park.
Oh, this Christmas, Kirk Freeport is wishing everyone peace, love, joy, and $40,000 in prizes. Win one of the multiple $5,000 and $1,000 cash prizes just for shopping at your favorite Kirk Freeport store. Purchases of $100 before noon on Christmas Eve qualify for all remaining prize draws. There's even a Rolex watch prize draw on January 2nd, and loads of other great prizes. Peace, love, joy, and the island's biggest Christmas sweepstakes. Only from Kirk Freeport. Full details on kirkfreeport.com. Merry Christmas from Kirk Freeport.
Did you know that recycling collection containers are located island-wide on Grand Cayman? The Department of Environmental Health's program is an integral part of DEH's waste management responsibility in the Cayman Islands. Start your recycling program at home today. Put your type 1 and 2 plastics in appropriate DEH recycling containers at all Foster's supermarkets, Kirk Market, or Hurley's Grand Harbor. Please keep the Cayman Islands clean. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. For more information about recycling, go to www.deh.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you so much for joining us and being a part of our discussion, whether you're listening or watching, or whether you're calling and contributing. You are making it much better. Gordon Solomon is our special guest today, and hopefully you'll be able to accept the invitation, whether in person or through proxy, be a part of our continued dialogue. Gordon, the caller, like the ones prior, but the one special just last, made some very impressive points, as he always does. Now, you're talking. Share with us, Gordon.
I just want to, I guess we got to close off soon.
For today.
We got to tell our story, and nobody's going to tell our story the way we can. I don't want nobody to tell my story. They don't like me.
I hear you, man.
So I gotta tell my story, and then I think this is where I'm coming from with life on the colony. Very, very personal. I want to talk about number 10 in the series, and it's called Nowhereian. It's Brack via Africa. And me and my ancestors were brought to the Caribbean. Many peoples came to the Caribbean. The Caribbean became they called it the New World, and it was a new world for a reason. And with that new world came people from Portuguese, you had France, even had people from Germany making it to places like Chile and bringing their idea of what a colony is to those places.
Hmm.
We had people there from France in the 1930s. They were taking their prisoners and taking them to Devil's Island, which is right off of French Guyana. And so the Caribbean has always been a place for different forms of colonies, or different, whether plantation or colony or what have you. But Cayman has emerged as what we are today. The unfortunate part about what we're talking about is in the 21st century is that not people are not about and want to have the idea that they serve masters. It's hard to find somebody to people have masters, but do you want to be the master of your destiny, or do you want somebody to master your destiny? Is really a provoking question. And so when I look at my life and seeing where we are as a people, we didn't choose to be a colony. We as Mr. Mickey was saying yesterday, an interesting point he made, that from the 1800s we were self-governed until we became a parish of Jamaica, following the 1880s, and we started using money from Jamaica and stuff. But we moved further and further away from this self-determination idea and independence. And so as we move forward, we're gonna remain the way we are until our leaders say,
which is interesting.
We want to master our own destiny.
To your point, into Mr. Mickey's constant reminder of our history, for that ensuing period up until the 1950s, right, it seems that there was a resolve within our people to exhibit a greater sense of independence and
because
autonomy.
Nobody wanted to do with us anyway, so we had to.
Right. And because it was administratively easier for the British government, right, to legislate and rule for us because they have their big island. Remember, it was just like how it was British Guyana, it was British Jamaica,
British Belize.
Right? It was British Jamaica, right? And so we're just a subsidiary. Our people need to start to remember that resolve. We saw it briefly after Hurricane Ivan. That resilience that is in our people, and it was about extending a hand to include. Maybe I'll get a chance to share a little bit more with you, but Miss Susan reminds me that there's a caller joining us.
Oh yeah, really?
Why don't we go to the phones? Hey, good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Sterling, and good afternoon to your guest.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good. We do have to master our own destiny. No one can do it for us. But I've been listening to the station off and on, and I caught partial of Mr. Rankin's conversation. Everything he said is so true. And we are our own biggest enemy. And we need to come out and stand up and be counted. Because if we're going to just talk and no action, we'll never get nowhere in life. And as we can see what's happening right now in Cayman, Cayman is not for us, the average Caymanian. We got too many Caymanians here punishing financially in just whatever capacity, and they say that, there's jobs out there and all that kind of stuff, or Caymanians are lazy. The fact of the matter is that, our people is coming more and more defeated every day because of the negativeness that people pour down upon we as Caymanians.
Yeah.
They can't find us here, and the majority will probably leave us here. It will depend how death may roll, So I just want to say that really and truly, Sterling and to your guests, I am getting so fed up now with my own island.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give up on my island, and I'm going to fight till I can't fight no more until they do what they want to do with me. But I want to speak my mind about Cayman, because then Cayman is a place where a lot of people would love to be, and we got people here who are not appreciating our island. They just want to just take it and wreck it up and mash it up and run it their way, and I don't know why we keep having governments after governments if they can't see how the Caymanians are punishing in every capacity, not just job-wise, but in every capacity. We have no friends, we have no neighbors to go to no more. They see you walking in the street and they want to knock you down and all that kind of stuff. But I can let you guys go. But
can I engage you? I would like to know how much is enough. I know
when Mr. Edgar talks about revolution, that's you put it in that category.
Okay, just in terms of, we don't want to create a minority situation. How much is enough permits? How much is enough land consumed? How much is enough cars? And once we can answer those questions, because if it's all limitless, we're heading in a bad direction.
If those things are
limitless.
Well, a lot of those things you just mentioned need to be cut back to a certain extent.
How much is enough cars, ma'am?
Well, I understand we go like what's 36,000 on the road license right now.
170. 170,000 cars has been through the Cayman Islands since 1912 to currently now.
The station just said that they got 36,000 cars licensed. I'm like, excuse me.
No, it's more than that, ma'am. Economics and Statistics Office, vehicles and drivers license, they make $11 million every year from licensing cars.
Yeah, the government should be ashamed of itself.
Well, we have to put a limit, ma'am, and thank you for your voice. I agree on a limit and everything.
All right. Anything else you want to share, Mom?
Sure. Sterling, out here on the road, I don't know what's going to happen till big people realize that we're all human out here driving. We got people just want to cut you off. People come up with these big vehicles and want to run over the small man and just taking all these close cuts on you, and they're not respecting you. I don't know why we got all of these cameras on the roads, and I can't hear anyone has been picked up from these cameras, and you can barely hardly see a police officer on the road. I don't know what's going to happen, but I tell you one thing. It's going to be a doomsday here in the Cayman next 5 to 10 years. I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, man. Hopefully we get a chance to chat with you again very soon.
Well, we have to avoid doom.
Yeah.
And if my leaders, I will close by saying if my leaders do not have the vision and foresight, and if I had the last 3 different voting sessions to vote, and it's coming around again in 2021, if I personally do not see some kind of limitation and some kind of protectionism for our people, I don't see why I should vote.
If we have more time, I would engage you. But by not voting, you're voting, some would say.
Well, what we got now?
Okay.
You can say I voted for that. I don't want all these cars.
Well,
limit them cars.
As you share about, my leaders, and I'm reminded of 2 things. Scripture talks about if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, right? And equally, for those of us who are here, would be reminded and mindful to pray for those in positions of authority, that they be wise, right, in their decision making, that they be just, and they act honorable and with integrity.
It's a prayer. It's a good prayer.
Yeah.
We got to deal with the reality. It's too much of everything.
All right. Well, Gordon, you have said something that I hope, in all the things you said, this idea that maybe there's time for us to consider how much is too much, right? Do we need to put limits on cars, on permits, on
imports?
Whatever that thing is, right?
Overflowing. At some point, somebody has to say, wow, this is too much.
but the question is, right, in our own lives, on an individual basis, are we prepared to make some lifestyle changes?
Yes.
Right? So that if each person does something very productively, very profoundly, to say, okay, let me not maybe abuse or overuse or whatever it is, this thing, and reduce the consumption, could that have a knock-on positive, effect on the rest of it? I don't know. But this is where that intellect, that insight, you share with us, man. Closing thoughts, Mr. G?
Closing thoughts. Well, I'm here promoting Caymanian art. I'm a Caymanian artist, and I'm doing my part. Anybody want to purchase any of my art, GordonSolomon.com. You can also check me out on Instagram at Gordon J. Solomon. Tweet me also. I don't be out all the time, though.
You know what? I got
Facebook. We deal with Facebook. We will answer you. We will talk to you. We'll be a friend in the street, too.
Yeah. There you go, man. Well, listen, I hope that you and others like you, all right? And by that, so that nobody misunderstands. People who are courageous enough, have sufficient conviction, who are prepared to speak from an informed position and say, hey, listen, this is what I think. Challenge me on it. Let me have an opportunity to share this perspective. Will avail themselves. Now, there are other, talk shows. I say to you, the Radio Cayman is an objective, impartial voice, whether it's you talk today, whether it's for the record, and you get a chance to share. Hopefully, as we go into Christmas, we recognize the importance of fellowship and the like. As we go into the new year, whatever resolutions or revolutions or transformations or whatever it is that we term them.
It's resolution.
Hey, listen, man. We get into semantics, we get caught up into antics and the like. But there's a time and a place,
For.
All right? And a friend used to tell me he doesn't want to be like a manna. I say, radar, all mouth, no action, radar arrange. Right? So we need to get to a perspective where there's a healthy dialogue and discourse, healthy respect, but a willingness to stand in the gap and be counted. Gordon, you've done that through your art.
Yeah.
And hopefully people avail themselves. So, what you say, you call it, on the colony?
Yes. Inspiration is all around.
There you go, man. Thanks. And if I don't get a chance to see you personally before now and Christmas, blessings to you and the family. Boy, if the black people would have
Susan, you bringing him?
He'd have me. That is such a magical place, man. And I hope those of us who live on Grand Cayman, including the Brackers who have come here, some would tell you out of necessity because of the economics and what have you, right? If we would recognize the beauty that we have and the example that is still there, it will be reminded so that we preserve, protect, not only there in Little Cayman, but here in Grand Cayman as well. That safety, security, stability.
The limit.
Yeah. But mistakes are being around, and I think sometimes we point fingers at those in position of leadership, but we fail to look at our own selves.
Leadership.
Yeah, or lack thereof. All right, thanks to Miss Susan for making the job so much easier. What you hear, because she does all the good production. What you see, it's all her. And if you couldn't hear what she says the tamarind switch that keeps us in order. So that is part and parcel. Now, tomorrow is Friday already, Miss Susan? Wow, a week has gone. For the record, is in the morning. Is that getting close to, so we better catch Miss Dorsey because Christmas is coming like many. There's time to fellowship and to take a hiatus. But please join in tomorrow for the record. Come back for Talk Today right after midday news and midday meditation. We've got a couple of things for you.
Talk Today.
Until then, be blessed.
Christmas is coming early this year at Brand Source, just in time to spruce up your home with a fresh new look for the holiday. Come early morning, Saturday, December 8th for the best discount. Save big with 25% off store-wide from 8 a.m. to noon on appliances, mattresses, bathroom fixtures, vanities, custom closets, and kitchen cabinets. From noon until close, get 15% off. So come early and save more. Saturday, December 8th at the pre-Christmas sale event at Brand Source Home Gallery, Industrial Park. Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.